When I woke, the room was so black that I had to blink a few times to make sure my eyelids were really open. I stared through the deep black at what I believed to be the ceiling, taking extended breaths, waiting for my vision to adjust. Minutes passed, and still I was unable to make out any of the objects in the room. I must gradually have fallen asleep again until I was woken a second time by a weak, squeaking voice. "Excuse me, is anybody there? I would very much appreciate some help." I sat up and directed my attention to where the voice was coming from and saw a soft, orange light near the floor. I quickly got out of bed, made my way over to it, and squatted down to take a better look. A small mushroom, about the length of a hairpin, had sprouted from the boards. It had a thin stem, which supported its large, flat, and slightly wrinkled cap. The top half of it was glowing, but the light hadn't made any of its surroundings visible. I prodded its cap with my index finger. "I would rather not be touched," the mushroom said. I was certain that this was a dream. I brought my hand up to my nose and noticed a faint, musky smell at the tip of my finger. "Can you please help me?" it said again. "What do you need?" I asked. "Well, you see, I'd like to be remembered." I looked around. Everything besides the mushroom was buried in darkness. This was unusual, as my mother-in-law always kept a light on in the living room for when she had to use the bathroom at night. I wasn't in our apartment, that was for sure. Wherever I was, it must have been an old place. There were smells of smoke and cooking oil that had been absorbed into the walls. "It is normal that you don't understand," the mushroom said, upon seeing how puzzled I was. Even though I would be mad to imagine it had eyes, I sensed it staring at me. "But when you leave this room," it said, "I'd like you to remember me." All I could think of was finding a way to wake up. The air had already been moist, but the humidity had built even more in the past few minutes. I pinched myself on the forearm. "I'm afraid that won't work," the mushroom said. "You're not in a dream. Not exactly." "If this isn't a dream," I said, "then how is it possible that I'm here in this dark room talking to a mushroom?" "I am not a mushroom, not in the way you think I am, and I cannot perceive light and darkness, unfortunately." "But you can perceive dream and reality?" "You could say that. But oftentimes those two things are not so different." I stood up. Dream or reality, I had to leave the room. "How do I get out of here?" I asked. "I suggest you go back to bed, climb beneath the covers, make yourself comfortable, and go to sleep. There is no other door out of this room." I wasn't convinced, and decided to prove the mushroom wrong. I placed my hands on the wall in front of me. It was a corner. I started moving to my left. The bricks were exposed. I could feel the mortar joints. After 7 steps, I reached another corner, so I turned and continued. 7 more steps until the next corner. The whole time, I kept my eye fixed on the orange light so that I wouldn't lose my sense of direction. The third wall measured the same length, and examining the fourth, I discovered that I was in a square-shaped room without a single door. I had no choice but to trust the mushroom.